Whoa, whoa, whoa. Guys, okay, sorry. Didn't mean to scare anybody. I'm alive, it's just a bit. See, the hat comes right off. No, I'm good. I'm good. Sorry about the delay. Missed, what, 3 weeks there? Yeah, what's up, CHFFL? So, yeah, sorry. We're back. Had a buddy moving up to the area, helped him move in, then was out of town, and then last week, honestly, I was just exhausted. Boy, Interleague has been really interesting, though. Let's look at these standings here. So you got the Rumble Pack, right? Rumble Pack, I'm sitting up at 5-3. We got almost 1,100 points. Then you got Bill and Max at 4-4. Big Paw's the only other Rumble Pack team with 1,000 points, and he's 3-5, tied with Wes. Grant's done. That was over before it started. But now the DualShock division, PS2 has been kicking butt here. You got Mark, Swan, and Banis all at 6-2. Mark over 1,100 points. The other two have 1,000. Stan, tied for 4th place, has the most points in the league right now with 1,150. Marty also there tied for 4th with Stan. And then Mini, season's probably dead for him too.
It's no use.
Partially because his team's disappointing, and a lot because he wound up in a conference that's brutal. Fantasy Pros right now has Mark, rest of season, as a rank of 100, Stan at 90, Banis at 89. Those are our top 3 rest of season. Swan at 5. Now we have trade review time. Mark, sensing that this is his time, went out to get Kelsey. I mean, Mark is the most frequent top 3 finisher in CHFFL history, but he only has 2 rings, which I know to some of you sounds awesome, but when you've finished in the top 3 9 times, only 2 rings is a little disappointing. This is Mark's chance. He's the top rated team right now. He's going all in. So he goes out and gets Kelsey for Tucker Kraft and Bucky Irving. Now, I really like this trade. I definitely like it for Mark. So while Kelsey has not been Kelsey-ish most of this season, there aren't many great tight ends out there. And out of good tight ends, they're kind of conglomerated. I've got 3 of the good, but not great tight ends. Really, what do you have? You got Kittle, whose injury concerns are always there. Bowers. Love Bowers. McBride, I guess Njoku now. You're hoping he rides the Winston train to fantasy paradise. And then you got Kelsey. And Kelsey is ranked somewhere around 3 to 5 rest of season by a lot of places. But then you look at Fantasy Pros Week 9 rankings, and he's still a tight end 1. So people still are expecting him to be Kelsey-ish. So this is a great get for Mark. There aren't too many places where he could improve. And Tucker Kraft, again, I highlight that I said this when it happened, it was a great pickup. And he's in it as a sophomore, so he's got some keeper potential. I'd say he's a tight end 1. I'd say he's a low-end tight end 1 in that 10 to 12 ranking. So Mini is getting a little bit of keeper potential. And what if everything continues the way it's going, not that big of a downgrade at tight end this year anyway. He also gets Bucky Irving, who has some keeper potential. And we all remember draft day, Mark scooping him up. I can't even fault this on Mini's side. I think it's reasonable. I don't think you could get normal Kelsey return for Kelsey. And I love it for Mark as one of the few ways to improve when you're already the best team in the league. So that's our trade review. I call it a win for both teams. Let's look at last week. Even though I wasn't here, it was a big week, so I think we should just go over really fast. Stan beat me by 15 points, 160 to 145. Coming off team of the week, Stan misses it back-to-back by only a few points here. Good lord. Interleague is not kind to me. I have Mark, Banis, and Stan. Remember I said there was the 3 best teams rest of season were 3 of my 4 that I had playing Interleague. I have Banis this week. Mark picks up a huge blowout over Wes, 147-88. Swan, team of the week, 165-85 over Max, who still is tied for 2nd, but he's on a big collapse. Back to kind of a regression to the mean war, what we expected from his team. Banis, 127 this last week, which was high scoring, actually a little disappointing, but he was playing Grant, so free win, Grant only 88. A reminder, Max, loser of the week. Come on, Papa. Give us something. Big Paw, 158 over Minis. Sonic Springs to Rings, 110. Parker, just a great team that's kind of on the outside with luck in matchups. Parker is really the N64 version of Stan this year. They both are higher scoring teams that just haven't put up the wins so far. And then Bill, only 2 points away from Team of the Week, 162 over Marty, 130. That's got to be a hard one for Marty. Put up a really good score and still couldn't get the win. Bill, starting slow, is becoming the top tier team that we expected him to be. He's definitely a top 5 CHFFL team right now. In terms of waiver pickups, there was only one skill position player that got an actual bid. That was me picking up Adam Thielen. A little surprised nobody else wanted him, just with Deontay being shipped out of town. I like change, and I just see him as a good flex fill-in. Everything else was defensive and, like I said, free pickups. Now we can get into this Week 9 previews. Last week of interleague play, my Kamala's Bad Slurp Day, taking on Banis and Les Enfants Terribles. Even though I lost last week, Mahomes was less disappointing than he has been. Burrow going up against Las Vegas is a really good matchup though, so Banis probably has a little advantage at quarterback. Banis is just really stacked right now. Both of our teams look really good. Of course, my team would look amazing with Chris Godwin and Nico Collins in the wide receiver spots, but fantasy is what it is. So we have Gibbs and Barkley against Robinson and Mixon, got 20 points on Thursday. Great running back matchups all around. Tank Dell without Nico or Stephon Diggs put up 18. Can't be disappointed with that. Josh Downs with Flacco now is looking like a really good start, and Amon-Ra looks like a better start than Waddle, who continues to just be kind of meh. Not ready to write him off yet. To his first week back was last week. We'll see what happens. Tight end, Bowers, probably the best tight end to be starting right now. I've got 3 to pick from. Right now, I've got Otten in there. Without Godwin and Evans, I just think volume is guaranteed there. Whereas I could see Pitts having an absent day, and Laporta already has had several absent days this year. I think Otten is both safe and some touchdown upside. Then in the flex, Kareem Hunt's been a great pickup for Banis all year. Chase Brown, I'm rolling with over Monty right now because Moss is out. It could be a bell cow day. Both Mixon and Dell had good games. Banis projected to win this by 11 on Sleeper. Banis with an edge in Fantasy Pros too, 7 points. This isn't a tough matchup. I'm running this show. I can't just pick myself every time. I think Banis probably pulls this one out. He's got such a combination of floor and upside here. Of course, Barkley and Gibbs. I got the firepower to win any game, but I can't feel super confident right now. Next, we got Wes. Run Rashada Run against Stan. Powerhouse, need for speed, Rice's revenge. Carrying on without the fallen soldier that is Rice. Wes got 10 from Breece Hall on Thursday and 22 from Devontae Adams. Breece coming in worse than expected. Devontae outperforming a little. That's a bit of a wash. Looking at Stan's team, Lamar Jackson continues his MVP type season, one of the few quarterback difference makers. Got Jacobs and Hubbard to compete with Hall's 10 points and Brian Robinson. Overall, like Stan to take the running back matchup. Receivers, London has been coming into his own overall pretty well. He had a down week last week. Zay Flowers now facing a little more competition for targets. He's probably a weaker start than Wes having Malik Nabbers. Ertz against Njoku. Right now, the situation in Cleveland with no Amari Cooper and a gunslinger quarterback, gotta like Njoku. And then CeeDee Lamb is the cornerstone of Stan's team, of course. I see Wes dropping to 3-6. I see Stan picking up an important win to come over 500 out of interleague play. Moving on to our bye of the week.
Game over.
Swan and the Tony Hawk Tua against Grant Pook Nukem 64. Now, Swan only gets 5 points from Dalton Schultz on Thursday. Tight ends have been very unhelpful when you need them this year. But he's still got a lineup of Swift, Achane, Smith, Justin Jefferson, and against, who does Grant have? Madison, ETN, who's been so disappointing, Mooney, and Puka. Puka looks good. What's Puka's injury? Because I know he was hurt. throughout the week. He's going to try to play week 9 as some sort of a tweak of his knee in practice. Something to keep an eye on. If Puka doesn't go, this game has no chance. With Puka, I actually do see an outside chance Swan could slip up here, but I'm trying to go for accuracy. I'm taking Swan to win. Next, a battle of the 4-4s, and just how interesting this is that Marty at 4-4 seems like he has no playoff chance, whereas Max is 1 game out of first place. Just that illustrates the difference in the conferences. Aaron Jones had a bit of a down week last week, but overall, the Henry Jones selection, 2 guys who are talented with new teams. Bravo to Marty for salvaging a team that's in a position to compete coming out of interleague play. He did really well in the draft. The good lad, Magically Delicious, had a big week last week. He's getting into that, I want to say borderline wide receiver 1 territory. That may be a little Georgia homerism on my part. Max, though, got 30 points from Garrett Wilson on Thursday. Great keeper, great cornerstone for his team. I saw that Zeke is going to be suspended, which makes Rico Dowdle a better start for Max, and Kenneth Walker, he can compete with these running backs that Marty has. DJ Hawkinson, set to make his first start of the season against Marty's Evan Engram. Still like Engram there, first game back for Hawk. Don't know how much he'll be worked in. Very interesting now that Amari Cooper's been traded to the Bills. We got Cooper against Shakir in a wide receiver 2 spot. Probably prefer Cooper. He's had another, every extra week he gets to be integrated into the offense. I think he becomes the wide receiver 1 there, although Sleeper currently has Shakir projected at more points. DJ Moore, Xavier Worthy in the flex, both high ceiling guys, higher floor on average throughout the year. Worthy's put up more kind of dud-ish games. Also expect Hopkins to get integrated a little more into Kansas City's offense. 30 points from Garrett Wilson is pretty tough to overcome, but I'm looking here, and I just, with Henry in particular, having such a huge season, McConkey's starting to have upside. Not that he's gonna get 30 points to match Wilson. I like Marty's upside more. I'm taking Marty here. I'm going against projections and taking Marty. Next, we have Bill in the Diddy Kincaid Racing against Minnie. Sonic Springs to Rings. Minnie trending down, having traded away his first round pick, Travis Kelce. Bill trending up, up, up. Bill got 8 points from his kicker on Thursday. Otherwise, nobody's gone here. Looking through the roster, we got Hurts against Cousins. I like Bill. Bill's Hurts. Bill with Cook, I like more than Connor. Chubb, Mostert. Right now, I'm liking Chubb. Chubb starting to, he came back healthy and he's playing already. So the value of that Chubb pick, we could start to see in these next few weeks. Hill back to being a top wide receiver with Tua back is probably a big reason Bill's had his resurgence. Against Bateman and Moore this one's not close. I'm not spending too much time on this. I take Bill. And finally, my game of the week for this week. Parker and the Odd Jobs hat against Mark and the Aku Aku. What have I got? Disappointing Thursday, kind of. Parker gets 5 from the Houston Texans, not too bad. Mark, only 4 from CJ Stroud. Mark may find himself like me, because Stroud's been struggling for a couple weeks now. I wonder how important Nico Collins really is to that offense. Mark and I may both be looking to acquire quarterbacks, but Parker with Josh Allen over there is a big advantage over Mark, who I think we'd all say is a top 3 team, if not the best team in the league. But Parker at 3-5, he's one of 2 teams in his conference that has 1,000 points. He's the second most points in the conference, or maybe first, I can't even remember, but he's close to tied for first. Yet he is 2 games out of first place, in 4th place, tied for 4th place. He's starting to get to that point where you could have the second best team on paper. You could have the second best teams in terms of points scored. But if you keep losing games because of bad matchups, it doesn't matter. So this is a big one for Pa, where he's facing a really tough team, but he's got a chance to kind of steal one based off of this Thursday game from CJ Stroud. Josh Allen could outscore Stroud by 20 points easily. Mark, this game is important, of course, because he's fending off. Not only Banis and Swan, who are tied for first with him, but Stan surging as the highest scoring team in the league to date. And he probably is listening to this thinking, I have a good argument that I'm the best team right now. So Mark is he's got to stay on top. You want to be the king. He's kind of got to not show weakness. Looking at the rest, assuming Allen outscores Stroud by a bit. Running back, Parker has Kamara and Josh Taylor against Tony Pollard and Kyron Williams. So my brain is still adjusted to the dynasty where I had him on the bench thinking there was opportunity, but all of the articles and reporting on him were just no explosive, nothing in his skill set or his tape stands out. He's just average, but he is a top 5-ish running back. However, I still like Kamara and Taylor as a better combination over Pollard and Kyron. It's close, but I like Pa to get points there too. So now we get into receivers. This, though, is where Mark can separate, even with a bad quarterback day. Chase, A.J. Brown, Cooper Kupp against Jackson Smith-Jigba, Terry McLaurin, and DeAndre Hopkins getting worked in Kansas City. The question is, how many more points are Mark's wide receivers going to put up? Are they going to get 20, 30, 40 on Pa? Because those are guys who each can have explosive games, especially Kupp. If Puka Nacua misses with that knee injury, Mark could be looking at putting up a regular team's worth of scoring with just his receivers. Then at tight end, Mark went out maybe looking specifically at this matchup because you're facing Parker. Trey McBride. It's one of the few tight ends that you feel really good sending out there every week. I mean, he's a top 5 tight end. So Mark goes and gets Kelsey to even up that matchup. Parker, Houston at only 5 points against the Jets. Probably a little disappointed in that. Mark really playing matchups with Cincinnati against a just crumbling Vegas team. Potential for more points there. So Mark I love this game. I want to see really who wins this matchup. It's really tough for me to pick a winner with Parker out in front based on Thursday, and Mark with all the firepower is going to be coming back at him. I'm taking Parker. I think Allen against Miami is going to have a real Josh Allen game, and it's just going to be too much for the rest of the roster to make up. I think Parker hangs in there. He can come 4-5 out of interleague play, and the Rumble Pack conference is going to be really competitive. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for your patience while I was gone. Smash the like button, please, and make a comment would be great. See you next week, maybe, whenever I feel like it.